Woo!
Welcome, vinyl community, to another episode of Cocktails with Cosmic. Actually, we've never had a Cocktails with Cosmic episode.
I don't think so.
No, this is a short one, and we decided to each pull about 5 records, drinking records. Now, that could be anything, really, right?
Right.
Okay,
Agreed.
I'm playing this jazz samba in the background. I'm going to turn it down. This is like probably, as the kids would say back in high school, a "come fuck me" record. They didn't say that in high school. We didn't listen to Stan Getz and Luis Bonfa in high school, this Brazilian stuff. I'm sorry, that was really rude. So I apologize, any of you who have children out there. But I did click, this is not for kids. So I'll be right back.
What's up out there, vinyl community?
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
So those of you who've been following me for a while, I have made several videos where I show how to make the perfect martini. It's not hard, really, but I'm not going to mix it on camera. I'm going to shake it on camera, but there's gin in here, a very little like swirl of dry vermouth, and you shake it or stir it. I'm not snooty about that. And if you use vodka, you're an amateur. It doesn't count. It's for the kids. The kids like the vodka martini. I like one olive, but you could do a twist, you know.
Yeah, that's a big olive.
That's what she said.
Ah! I set that up nicely. Dude, that looks tasty.
Smells like cleaning fluid in the morning. This is my Lysol, my afternoon Lysol injection, according to the
that'll
president.
Keep your insides disinfected.
Yeah, the president said this is going to cure Americans. You know, I hate to wish ill on anyone, but we shouldn't talk politics here, but because I'm a West liberal. But if all or even if half of the president's supporters did what he said, he'd get 50% less votes than he would have gotten, unfortunately. Bad.
You know, some people did. Some people tried it.
Isn't that what like high school? Don't the high school students do that for like shits and giggles and cheap thrills or something?
Jiminy Christmas. All right, we don't want to go politics, though, right?
No. Okay. Brian and I just sort of, I know we just did one last week, but I know we haven't done the rotation with other people, but hey, we just decided to have a cocktail together, and we said if we're going to have a cocktail together or a beer or whatever you're drinking, we might as well tape it and share it with the world, right? There's no privacy anymore when you're sitting home. So
I'm drinking a Miller Lite as usual. I did have some rum chata, but my ice wasn't frozen. I didn't have ice on hand. Oh well.
You know, Iowa has a problem. There's a big ice shortage, isn't there?
I guess so.
Well,
not in the winter. We have plenty of ice in the winter.
Well, springtime. Beautiful day here. Sunny day.
Oh, same here.
We had
a
big show. I fucked up Brian's scheme of things a couple hours ago because we were texting about some music and some cool records he found, which we're not showing here unless he puts those in the mix. What we're showing here is each showing just 5 cocktail or drinking records. But after a big rainstorm this morning, it's beautiful, gorgeous weather. And out on my front driveway was a dead squirrel, petrified dead squirrel. And I sent, it's like an art piece. I sent this guy a picture of it, and I think he freaked out. So anyway. All right.
Yeah, I was not expecting it.
No, it's probably not. It's worse than sending someone a dick pic, I guess. But anyway, it depends on who you're sending it to, I guess. But I don't do those kind of things. Okay, why don't you go first and tell me why and what you're doing?
All right. Well, I kind of first I thought, you know, what do I like to listen to while I drink kind of thing. And then I kind of thought, well, what songs are about drinking? And so I found one that I like both, that fits both the categories. And I got this George Thorogood and the Destroyers. He sang a lot of songs about drinking and partying and a lot of blues stuff and really great stuff. But the song on here is
One Scotch,
one bourbon, one Scotch, and one beer. And I absolutely adore that song. I wanted to do it live with my last band, but they didn't want any part of it. But and that's probably why I'm not in that band anymore. But anyway, yeah, I love this stuff. This is stuff that takes me way back to like when I was in high school. So good drinking music, good partying, good time music.
Scotch doesn't seem like a high school drink, but isn't there a long intro? It's a long song version of that song, right?
Yeah, he tells a story, and it's like a long song about how he can't pay the rent, and he can't, everybody's always on his case, and the only solution
pretty much
is
like every musician. Pretty much like every musician.
Yeah, exactly. But this is a great record, man. I love that.
All right, I'm starting out. All my records are rock and roll related, except for the first one. And I just figured if I'm going to start drinking, the ultimate like drinking buddy album, Drinking Buddies, was the chairman of the board, Frank Sinatra. And drinking, Vegas. I've never been a cigarette smoker. My parents smoked, but yeah, you'd see these pictures of him in the 60s, and he'd have a cigarette in his hand and a drink in the other hand, and it'd be in Vegas. And this is a friggin' great record. This is Sinatra at the Sands, a famous Sands hotel, with Count Basie and his orchestra, arranged and conducted by the great Quincy Jones. So this is like a great cocktail record. Trying to look and see. No, I don't see any cocktails in here. But this is great. And what's interesting about it, it's live, so he has all the little bits he used to do in this Vegas act. And some of it is not politically correct, with a lot of racial Amos and Andy type impression. I mean,
that was the thing back then, man.
Yeah, every time he had what's his name in the room?
Sammy Davis Jr.
Sammy Davis Jr., man. They went after him. Does a man named Rupert Begonia strike a familiar? And I'm just saying that based on historic, creative, I'm not condoning any kind of fun of any ethnic group whatsoever. So
what songs you like? What songs you like by Frank?
Well, like on here, it's "Come Fly with Me." Talk about a great drug song, right?
Yeah, I grabbed Frank too, because that's like great minds think alike. This is just a greatest hits thing here.
Well, think of all the drug songs he covered. Like "I Got You Under My Skin." If that ain't a drug song, right?
Yeah.
"You Make Me Feel So Young." That's about. We won't go there. What that's about. "Fly Me to the Moon."
Yes, that's a great song. "Come Fly with Me." "Let's Get Away from It All." It's just he's got such great songs. Yeah. It's just that's a classy martini drink song, right?
Totally. But I think he was drinking, like, those guys were drinking scotch. And then you had Dean Martin. Yeah. And then you had Dean Martin, who was always the whole illusion of him being the lovable drunk, right?
I almost pulled a Dean Martin for tonight too.
That would have been a good choice. Okay, your pull now.
Okay, well, I could not go without pulling something from the Stones. I love the drink to the Stones. They're a hard partying band. So, and this is just a cool record. This is like a greatest hits thing. It's got Honky Tonk Women, Ruby Tuesday, Jumpin' Jack Flash, Street Fighting Man. I mean, you name it, all the hits are on this, and it's just a cool, cutout record. But the Stones, I mean, how can you talk about partying and drinking without the Stones? I guess.
I almost pulled the Stones records. I kept thinking that whole period from like 68, 69 through the mid 70s. If it wasn't alcohol, it was cocaine. It was, I mean, those guys were flying high. And that actually leads me into, with that one, this record, "A Nod as Good as a Wink" by Faces and Ronnie Wood.
Yes.
Faces, who would later join the Stones. This sounds just like a really drinking record with Miss Judy's Farm, "You're So Rude." Too Bad, Stay With Me. I mean, you got Rod Stewart in here by this point, after they're the Small Faces. They're kind of just a funky bar band, almost like a glorified bar band, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Not that bar bands are bad. I love bar bands.
No, that's great. That's great.
But they got that kind of, they all sound shit-faced. And I love Ronnie Lane. I'm a Ronnie Lane fan, as well as Ronnie Wood. So, I mean, look at, the more you drink, the more you look like puppets also.
Now, Rod Stewart always sang with that smoky, like drinking, smoky kind of voice anyway. I loved it.
Right?
Yeah,
a lot of naked pictures in the poster here. There's like a book.
Isn't there a Rod Stewart album where it's like it's a drink and it's a die cut album?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like oh, nice. You got the poster too.
You know, sometimes the posters are like, the more you drink, I'm not going to be able to fold this up for 3 days now.
Jesus, that thing's huge.
That's what she said.
Again, I set you up.
That's what happens when you drink and you go for the cheap shit shots.
I'm going to keep setting you up. I don't care. Cheers.
Anyway, good
it's
record.
Supposed to be fun.
This is
After Dark version.
1971. So this is a high school record for me too.
Love it. My turn?
Yep.
All right. This is a band that you can relate to. I've seen you show. I think you have probably their whole discography, but I love the Kinks. And also remember, like, you know, back in the day when I was in high school, we used to party and we listened to like Lola and that kind of stuff. There's actually a song on this record called Alcohol that I don't know if it's a party song or it talks about the demons of alcohol or what, but it's a cool song. I love this record.
Yeah, one record live.
I got this record after you did your Kinks video.
That's a great record. One LP's live and one is studio. It's got Cellular Heroes. Totally.
I love it.
When he used to play that song, I saw him about 72, 3. He would do Alcohol, the whole Demon Alcohol, and he'd like put a bunch of bottles of beer on his head and sing. And
nice.
He seemed seemingly fucked up. I don't know if Ray Davis was fucked up, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Love that album.
Yeah, me too. This is a great album. This is something you can get for pretty cheap, a double album it's amazing. I love this record. Of course, I love Supersonic Rocket Ship. It was in
You've used that a couple
Avengers
times.
movie.
Didn't you use that a couple times on your video? I think
I did indeed.
See, I remember. I do pay attention.
And I love this cover too. I don't know why. I just think it's cool looking. The pastel colors.
Walk down Hollywood Boulevard. All right. I think it's time for a strip show. And
Woo!
when you have a strip show here, you go for Tom Waits.
Nice. Good choice.
There's a song, Step Right Up, Step Right Up. It's kind of like a beat poet song about just bizarre, ongoing, almost like a rap thing, but in his own way. Great song when I hear The Piano Has Been Drinking, But Not Me, which is a perfect song, kind of loungy thing. But, you know, when you listen to him, when he does his kind of, especially at this period of time, when actually you could hear him singing a melody. I love the later shit, but the later shit, he's like just out there with this wild arrangement, stuff, which I do like. But this is a great record. Invitation to the Blues. I can't wait to get off work. Small Change got rained on a. I wish I knew all the lyrics here, but.
And I hate to admit it, but I don't even own a Tom Waits record, and I'm ashamed of myself. But you know what? That's why the vinyl community is so great, because I've been introduced to a lot of stuff I never listened to, and you know, that's why I'm here, man. So.
Well, this is taking you in right now, Brian, into backstage at a stripper's makeup table.
Been there and done it. We were 80s rock stars back in the day, so we used to cavort with those strippers all the time. So.
Were you ever a backup band for strip shows?
No, I guess I wasn't. That would have been great.
The Beatles were in Hamburg. They used to do all these things. They play and stuff. You know, when they were playing Hamburg, there'd be strippers on stage in the Reeperbahn district of Hamburg.
I think I read that
Yeah.
somewhere.
They were taking Prellies and uppers and
Oh yeah.
yeah, they were like, it wasn't about pot then. That wasn't until Dylan.
All right. Well, since you went with, now this isn't anything near stripperish, but this is fun stuff. Wanda Jackson. She was always sang about partying and, you know, it was like, I mean, listen to the names of the song. There's a party going on. Lost Weekend, man, we had a party. She is like the queen. She was called the queen of rockabilly. So yeah,
Female Elvis Presley.
Yes, yes. I love this. This is another thing that was introduced to me by the vinyl community, and I fell in love with Wanda Jackson, man. I just love this stuff. She has got a killer voice. Just a rocker chick. You know, I mean, she can hang.
She's still alive too. She plays. I mean, she was playing like up to 5 or 10 years ago.
Oh my God, that's so great to hear.
I never saw her, but she had a big renaissance. Remember, like also she's had several renaissance. Remember, like in the '80s, like with Stray Cats and that whole thing.
Right.
You know, that whole rockabilly, Robert Gordon and Link Wray record, and that kind of stuff was really. Remember that whole rockabilly resurgence?
Yeah.
Yeah. You probably were in a rockabilly band.
I almost picked up a Stray Cats album today. I've got this connection here in town. This guy that has an antique store, and he lets me come in and look at his records. And he's just been unlocking the door and letting me in. I've been finding like some great stuff lately. So
that's kind of instead of letting the cat out, they let Cosmic Brian in. Is that what they did?
That's it. That's exactly it. Thank God. Your turn, my man.
Well, you know, it's funny when you mention this and we're talking about this. You don't know if you can distinguish between a record you like to drink with or drink to, or a record that you think the artist was fucked up or on drugs or or drinking while they made it. Pretty much anything in the early '80s to late '70s, early '80s with David Bowie, that whole crew, those guys were coked up. And
yes,
the one record I don't show much, but I really like it is this one, David Bowie's "Scary Monsters." And
love it.
It seems like it's cocaine infused. I don't know that for a fact, or some kind of drug infused. I know he went
put
through
money on it.
Yeah, he went through rehab a little later after the Switzerland years in the mid '80s, or that was the '70s. I'm sorry, this is after that. But the song, what I like about this, I love when an artist. I mean, it might sound cliche, but I love when an artist writes their own sequel to a song. And he wrote "Ashes to Ashes" on here. Ashes to Ashes, Junk to Junkie, or Funk to Funky. We know Major Tom's a junkie. You know, that's kind of a sequel. Fashion is a cool song. I keep thinking of the whole fashion industry where people are, again, you know, using blow and stuff. I just kind of
everybody wanted to be like, you know, wafer thin, you know, all those models. And even him, he was always wafer thin, like coked up.
That exactly, and not defending it, but there was a time, a scene, and you know, I mean, I had my share of stuff, and looking back on it, I keep thinking, how stupid was I?
I keep thinking, how am I alive?
Well, I didn't do it that much, although one time I remember. Well, we shouldn't share those. Never mind. I don't need to share those.
Yeah, that's another video altogether.
My health insurance company might be watching this video.
I held that record in my hand earlier today. I got the guy holding it for me. I'll buy it later this week.
Scary Monsters and Super Creeps. What a great name for a song.
You know, when we talked about Let's Dance last video, that's the album that came before it. There's 3 years in between that album and Let's Dance.
Yeah, that actually got some airplay because of Ashes to Ashes, but it wasn't like a huge hit. But I like the record a lot. You know, that and Lodger. Lodger's earlier, but I love that. You know, I love the Berlin trilogy a lot.
I love it. All right. Well, since we're talking about if we wondered if the artist was messed up or whatever, I definitely know. I talked a little bit about this guy in our last video. It's Alice Cooper. This is his greatest hits album.
I have that.
And he was a huge alcoholic. His drinking, though, was not recreational. It was sickening and pitiful, actually. But you know, probably in the early years it was pretty fun. But this is a great party record. It's got "I'm 18," "Under My Wheels," "School's Out," "No More Mr. Nice Guy." I mean, all the good hits from
Is
the
Billion
early.
Dollar Babies on that one, or is that?
It is. It is. Everything from the Alice Cooper band that was a greatest hit was on here before he went off on his own as Alice.
You know, I love Billion Dollar Babies because, you know, I'm a big Donovan fan, and he sings. They trade verses. It turns out he just happened to be recording in the studio when they did that, and Alice brings Donovan, and they traded off his vocals on that. Hearing that version, I
You're
keep
kidding.
thinking, wouldn't it be great if Donovan made a record like that with a band like that? Because he never really did. And listen to Billion Dollar Babies and listen to Donovan. Now you'll know.
So Donovan sings on the $Billion Babies album? I
Things
did
like
not
his
know
own
that.
bird. They trade off verses. You'll hear his voice right away.
Oh my God, I'm going to listen to it as soon as I get done.
You got to right away. Promise me and then text me afterwards.
Yeah, this is a cool record. Look at that. Like they're all dressed in their 1940s like garb, like the Al Capone stuff. Anyway, I like Alice Cooper. A lot of people might not. He's, you know, you don't talk about him a whole lot in the VC, but I love Alice Cooper. He's got a kind of a tongue-in-cheek humor.
I like all those Warner Brothers Bizarre records of his band. All those the first 5 or 6 I love. Yeah. One
of his guys was from Iowa, Glenn Buxton. He was the bass player, I believe. He was from Iowa, so yeah, he's a hometown guy from our state. So
okay, so my last record, it's again from the '70s, the Wasted L.A. Lost Years, and one of my favorite singers, but his voice was like shot because he was so fucked up, so much alcohol, so much cocaine, and him and John Lennon did Pussycats, and this record was produced. Producing Nielsen, John Lennon producing Harry Nilsson. When this album came out, people hated it because it opens up with a great reggae song, the great Jimmy Cliff song, "Many Rivers to Cross," and it's a slow.
I love that song.
It's bizarre. I mean, this record has found an audience. It took like 30 years, I think, to find an audience. And it's over-the-top production. It's kind of like John Lennon doing his Phil Spector productions with horns and very compressed music. And Nielsen's voice is shot and he's screaming. He does a screaming version of Subterranean Homesick Blues, the Bob Dylan song, and it's fucking horrible, horribly bad. It's so bad, it's kind of good in a way. What other, one song is kind of melodic called Mucho Mungo, but it's got a version to Save the Last Dance for Me. Around this period of time, I think, was when Lennon was doing the rock and roll music with rock and roll, the oldies album with Phil Spector, and he was just on drugs. And this is almost a horrible album, but it's gotten kind of good. I'd say if you see it, pick it up. I mean, everybody's on it. Every studio musician from Jim Keltner to Ringo Starr to Keith Moon to Klaus Vormann, all those like fucked up people in LA in the in like 1974 are on this record, you know.
Have you seen that documentary about Nielsen about, you know, I don't know, I don't even remember where I seen it, but I remember seeing this documentary about him, and
it was on
it was kind of a tragic end. That guy was a party animal.
Yeah, and he had one of the most beautiful golden voices, and he just
he was an angel.
He destroyed it.
Yeah.
But I just love that this is so fucking, I want to say bad. It's so bad it's good.
I might check that out.
Yeah, Bobby Keys, Klaus Vormann, Jesse Ed Davis, like, you know, people who were playing with the Stones at the time. Yeah, the usual suspects, Ringo, Jim Keltner.
Yeah, Nielsen would call those guys in the middle of the night and drag them out, and they'd go on benders, on coke benders for like a week. You know,
Yeah. I told that story too because there was that famous at the Troubadour in L.A., the club on Sunset Strip. The Smothers Brothers were performing.
Nice.
John Lennon goes with Harry Nilsson, and John Lennon was a bad alcoholic, a bad drinker, like a violent, that Irish. No offense to Irish folks, but he had that kind of temper. So
Right.
he cuts his head, so he goes in the bathroom, apparently the women's bathroom, and tapes a Kotex to his head because he's bleeding. He's sitting in the chair, you know, with Harry Nilsson and a few other people, just shit-faced, and he's berating like people. He's berating the waitress, the server, and he finally says to the server at one point, "Do you know who I am?" And she goes, "Yeah, you're some asshole with a Kotex on your head." Famous story. There's a famous pictures in Rolling Stone of him being dragged out, like just totally white-faced, shit-faced drunk, of Lennon and Nilsson. Keith Moon, I think, maybe. Yeah.
Man, there's some horror stories there.
Not that we're making fun now. Kids, if kids are watching, do not do this at home.
No.
Drink responsibly. It says it on every bottle. I never have more than one martini a night, and especially no more than 2 or 3. Not really.
Hey, you're at home. You can do whatever you want. So, and you're an adult.
I'm well over an adult, 3 times over.
I bet I'm just as old. I'm not as old as you. Well, I think I'm probably.
I'm 11 years older than you. I'm 11 years older than you.
You look great. You look great. All right. So am I going to show one more?
Because I have a martini every other day.
I'm going to show one more.
Okay.
I'm going to jump ahead a couple of decades though, just because I like this band. Beastie Boys. And this was their first, their breakthrough album, Licensed to Ill. And gosh, I got this recently at the same store I've been talking about all video. I got this for under $10, and it's an OG. I think it might be a BMG record company. I don't know. It might be one of those record club ones. But
aren't those worth a lot?
Yeah, that's not. I looked it up. It's like $50, and I got it.
I thought that was worth $4,700.
Oh, I don't know about that. Gosh, that would be something because this is nifty.
But I think you should sell it to Dylan at Noble Record for $3,000, and he can sell it to someone else for $47,000.
I actually consulted him today from the record store, or from the store I was at, about this Yesterday's Children album. It's a psych record that's pretty highly sought after, and the guy's selling it for $80. And I consulted Dylan about if it's a good deal or not, and he said, "Yeah, you better grab it." So I didn't drop the $80 yet, but I probably will. But this has got "Fight for Your Right to Party." It's also got a song called "Brass Monkey," and it's about a drink that I don't know if they made it up or what, but. God, this is a fun album. We used to do "Fight for Your Right to Party" in this other band I was in. We'd always we'd do it as our encore song, and people just loved it. But the Beastie Boys were just a fun group. And
that's a great record. I like that record.
I like this, but I liked a lot of their other stuff. This was the groundwork, and then they went into some really cool, like they did a lot of cool experimental stuff.
Yeah. I almost pull some Warren Zevon stuff because Warren Zevon was volatile, bad drunk, would drink, but then I'm trying not to mix up. It's hard not to mix the artist with the art, or the drinking with the writing about songs. I mean,
we're supposed to be having fun drinking, and we're telling these horror stories.
I could put like every fucking Jerry Jeff Walker record.
I could show Jim Morrison too. We could tell all kinds of shit about him.
Oh man, this is not funny. I'm going to close out on my end with I got something in the mail today, and I haven't opened it yet. So can I bogart the end of the video with? I think
fire away.
Because I knew something was coming from Rob Walker from Manchester, England.
I love Rob. I mean, Rob is such an amazing. I love his channel, but he's a nice, amazing dude. I love him.
Yeah, and now I don't know. There's a little. I didn't wash this off with my like maxi pad cleaner, so this is bringing like shit from England. It says Declaration. I think he sent this like in 1978 to me, and it just got here. So Rob, I'm usually I do this kind of shit at the beginning. So if anybody's watching, tell Rob that I'm doing opening his VCLT.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I really enjoyed that video with you and him a lot.
Shit, it smells like Boris Johnson, this package.
Oh, smells like that squirrel.
I think he sent me his passport, and so we got oh, do you have your drink coasters handy? Because I think I got a drink.
Yeah, I got my coasters.
Well, this is a Kinks. It looks like a drink coaster, but it says a Kinks like a ticket.
Are you going to see him?
No, I just got this in the mail from.
That's
think
what
it's too
I'm
late.
saying.
Okay, this is really cool. So I need to put I'm having, just to show you how it works. Thank you. Oh, I should wash that off. And then there's a CD, Elbow. I think he talked about Elbow because they're a Manchester band. I have no Elbow in my collection.
You know what? From that video I seen when he showed that, they sound really great.
We're not drunk, but they're Elbow.
Look at my elbow. My elbow's toast. It must have fell down.
This is 2008. I can't wait to listen to this because I've been wanting to. There's more shit here. There's a book.
Wait, there's more.
There's a book. Oh, it opens up from right to left. Oh, no, it doesn't. Well,
what is it, anime or manga?
My kid's really into manga. Oh, Piccadilly, end of the year review, Piccadilly Records, 2019. So all the records,
nice.
I can find out all the records I need to buy that I missed last year. I love this kind of shit.
Me too.
End of year. Okay, that's great. Very cool. And there's a letter here. It looks like it's typed on by crayon. Small gift from Manchester, musical capital of the world. My favorite Elbow album. I won't read it all because this is personal stuff. Him and I have this like personal bond, and we don't want to like share any of our
oh, of course,
our UK American escapades.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it.
Thanks for the video. You're such a gift to the VC. Best wishes. Oh, that makes my heart break.
Does that mean I got to send a gift?
Yeah. Usually what happens is, you know how I don't know if you ever got married. I never got married. I was with my ex, who I love dearly, for 28 years. We have a kid. We own property. We used to. We love each other. We never officially got married. We're typical West Coasters. And she's the mother of my wonderful son, Joseph.
Oh my God, I didn't even know this about you.
Yeah, well, I shared it on someone video. But what is my fucking point? My point is, we never were able to register for wedding gifts. So maybe I should register on the VC for some kind of gifts.
We'll do anything for vinyl.
Right. I started doing my Discogs, and I'm about not quite halfway through. I should just put a whole wish list up there. And, I don't monetize my channel or anything like that. So I should just say, send free shit, but it's got to be on this list.
I got to get on that whole Discogs thing. I've signed up for Discogs, but I haven't done any of that yet.
The archivist got me on there. Otherwise, I would never have gotten on there.
I love that. I love that you have like your own posse, and there's the archivist, there's the coffee guy.
Coffee
kind of
Dave,
like Eric Weinbender. Eric Weinbender's got a posse too. It's awesome.
Oh, is that what I think it is? No.
Yep. I was gonna show that to close out with just that picture of that guy on the table, all drunked out there.
Well, that's Jack Casady, the bass player. You got to listen to, I think it's that album, the second cut, 3/5 of a Mile. Is that the second cut? Spencer,
it's live, right?
Well, it's live at the Fillmore East. The opening, that track, Spencer Dryden's Sons. I did that on my Best of Drummer video with Bill Vinylverse. We just did a drummer's video 2 days
You
ago.
haven't watched it yet.
Fuck you. Pay attention. Do your research. Be prepared before you get on these fucking videos. You know, I hate when people, they think, you know, they come prepared. They think they know it. It's kind of like, I mean, if this was
Dude, I prepare.
If this was a Tinder date, you need to know my favorite color and my favorite animal.
I guess it's not squirrel. I'm gonna guess. Dude, don't choke.
Don't ever make someone laugh when they have liquid. You know what happens? It comes out of their nose.
Oh yeah, you should have just let it spew forth. There it is. Oh my God. It's much better. It's got that wet spot around it. Looks better on the yellow shovel. There it is. Oh my God, kids, hide your eyes, kids.
Okay, a couple people said, no, that's not a squirrel, it's a rat, but it got waterlogged so much that the tail shriveled up. You know when when you get out of a pool, you know when you get out of a pool how it shrivels up. That's what happens to.
Oh my God, man!
I was telling Brian, I didn't know if this washed up on my driveway. I didn't know if it was some critter that washed up or my Chinese takeout arrived.
Nice.
Okay, I think we need to end this, but fun
it's
stuff.
Getting out. It's starting to get away from us a little bit, isn't it?
Starting, yeah.
I love that we did this, though. It was just on a whim. It was on such a whim.
Last minute shit. This is where it's dangerous to give someone your phone number, because then you start getting like, you get it like, it's like that Velvet Underground song, gonna meet my man, $6 in my hand.
Yeah.
You need to kind of get a fix right away on the VC, and this is a fix.
Hey, I dig it. I'm having fun.
All right. Mazzy loves you. Brian, Cosmic Vinyl. You guys should subscribe. I'm going to put his link as usual. Subscribe. Every new subscriber he gets, I get $10. So please subscribe.
Nice. Cheers.
Okay. See you later.
All right, man. Have a good one.